Cyberlearning, it blows apart the walls of the classroom and allows new experiences that were never possible or practical before. Everything from mobile augmented reality games to multiplayer games, simulations of different scientific phenomena.
Cyberlearning, I think, gives us bridging technologies we've never had before to connect the informal learning that goes on outside of school to the learning of a classroom.
I think it's a way of teachers informing student learning by personalizing and facilitating learning, and manage learning in a way that meets every student's individual needs.
And if it's well constructed, students can assume the role of scientists, and they can see the kinds of challenges that scientists face, and they can learn a lot of skills that are then important for them later when they're out of the classroom and in the real world, bringing science to bear on understanding problems.
All right, ladies, you got like 10 more minutes, okay?
Universe Quest is a series of after-school events in collaboration with the Girl Scouts.
And it's all girl-led, girl-based, cooperative learning. These girls are learning about astronomy, learning about game design, and they are doing science.
The game we're making is about star remnants, such as black holes, white dwarfs, and neutron stars. And we're basing our story on a love story between two characters called Hare and Hairpin.
The girls author learning experiences to share on the internet with other girls.
The game that I'm building, it's about what stars do when they form.
Which one did you want? Did you want the nebula?
Yes. The thing I like about building games is I get to discover new things that I didn't know before, and I get to teach other people about astronomy in a very fun way.
And then maybe we can add that into the...
Before, I wasn't much of a science girl. It's so interesting. It's sort of amazing how in like less than a year I can learn so much about astronomy.
The thing about cyberlearning is it's very activity-based. It's oriented around kids doing things, giving kids more ownership of their learning.
Which is terrifically important, because when the student's in control of the learning, they learn differently.
Yes, it works.
The students themselves, by taking control, feel a sense of mastery, a sense of efficacy that you often don't get in a classroom.
Cyberlearning really helps promote more authentic scientific or STEM learning. You have a remote lab like the kind we're working on at Northwestern. There's an excitement to feel like I'm using the same piece of equipment that a professional scientist would use.
The calibrated Geiger counter is technology that we would never be able to have here in a public high school. So this allows our students to experience a lab that they would never even come close to being able to touch or see.
We have a lab that students use to run experiments on a Geiger counter that's in the University of Queensland in Australia and helps kids measure radiation.
And what they're studying is nuclear chemistry, but we do it under the subtext of, is your cell phone going to fry your brain? And so for a student, the second you bring up a cell phone, that's fascinating to them.
It was really cool because you could actually see your experiment happening, and it feels like you're doing it in the real world.
You're doing it online, you present it with more information. You learn more, and I like it because I like a challenge.
How's it going here? Does it look like it follows your data a little better?
I've actually learned a lot about cell phones and the radiation that comes from it. What I would take away from this is to not have my cell phone so close.
And what does that mean about how radiation changes over distance?
The shorter the distance, the more radiation.
Today's learners have grown up with 21st century tools that are second nature to them. And you go back to the formal experience, and what students are saying is that the face-to-face interactions that they have with teachers are not rigorous enough. And that's because they haven't any relevant, real-world, interactive experiences to help them better understand that skill or concept and how to apply it. And so I think cyberlearning really affords them that opportunity.
There you go. Everybody have a machine? We're going to be playing an augmented reality game.
I think cyberlearning, it captures this sense of mediated learning and anytime, anywhere learning, and learning that allows students to be in multiple realities at once, which is what we do in augmented reality games. One of the games we've developed, you go to the future to shape the present by way of making small changes to the past. And MIT, being a nearly sea-level campus, has been devastated by global climate change. Students go out in the field with handhelds.
So that would be going this way?
Yeah, that way.
Their mission is to collect information about these laws that could be enacted to change what happened.
The law is open air conditioning buildings to the public on days over 90 degrees.
I'm going to try very popular and medium impact.
I really liked it. It brought climate change to attention and other impacts, like people are going to need air conditioning, or there's going to be more flooding, or less clams. And here we discover the facts ourselves, and we come to our own conclusions about the facts.
Which one do you want to go to first?
This one. Okay.
Got to actually experience how to feel walking around in a book. You're sort of not really experiencing those because you could be sitting in a very cold room in a hard chair and you wouldn't realize how it actually feels.
We see really smart kids all the time who are disaffected from their schooling. So we need to look at the tools that kids are engaging in to see what kinds of learning emerge from using these tools.
And so we really need teachers that are willing to be those early adopters, willing to carve out some room in their curriculum for something that's new that wasn't there before.
I want my students to have skills that can go into a career. So if that's really what we're trying to gain, we need to work together and figure out what would best benefit our kids. We're doing it for them.
I come home every day and I'm like, guess what, Mom? I learned something new today.